Absolute
Radio.
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio podcast. You can make your own sentence out of that. Get that into like fridge magnets and then move it about a bit. Here we are. The show is done. We've wrapped it up in a lovely Christmassy wrapping. And I thought it was rather splendid.
It was good.
But have we ever sat here and said, bit rough this week, I wouldn't bother? I mean, that would be detrimental.
Not on air, we haven't said that.
No.
Well, there was that one time.
Adrian Chiles was the guest. He was
great.
splendid. And we had what I would call a very helpful phone-in. A phone-in actually for my own practical aid, which was good. And
don't miss my impression of Adrian Chiles.
Oh, God, I mean, that was scary.
I went to a meeting, a party for Radio 4, and David Mitchell was there.
Oh, yeah.
So I followed him round perfecting my David Mitchell voice.
To his face?
No, behind his back.
Oh, that's how you operate.
Behind his back, yes. No, that's not very good.
No, I like it. Have another go.
I have to get into it. Hello, I'm David Mitchell at the Radio 4 party, and can you take away this man who keeps following me around doing the voice? I'm not happy with him. I don't know where he's come from, and I feel he may be trying to steal my essence.
It's absolutely fabulous. It is. I mean, John Coleshaw, that's what I say. And not for the first time. No, he's very good, John Coleshaw, but he ain't that good. Also, I find when he's off stage, his hair is in the pattern of herringbone. He has herringbone hair, John Coleshaw, which I've never really understood. He's not a herring, nor is his hair bone. But that's the pattern he's taken on. I think he should get it done and see if he can sort of tease it into a dog-tooth check. I think we should start the show, dear.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily and Gareth, as usual. And our guest today is Adrian Chiles, off of the telly. So that's quite exciting.
And he's your friend as well.
Well, yeah. And we've got cameras in the studio because they're going to film it. Adrian Hire is going to... He doesn't just do the news, Adrian Hire. Oh, my God, he does everything.
Yeah, but
I
Gareth's
saw him
got hold
vacuuming when I got in this morning.
Gareth's got hold of the cameras and he's using them for ill.
Is he?
Yeah.
Usually there was a weird thing open where I was able to focus and direct the webcams.
It was a weird thing if you were able to focus.
I saw where you were directing it as well, Gareth.
I think it was a portal to the fifth dimension, if I'm not mistaken.
Is that speaker over Emily's head new?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think it might be.
Hold on, let's have a listen to it. Odder. Okay, that'll be the speaker. So, Tiger Woods has he's resigned indefinitely. Not resigned. What's he done? Packed up indefinitely.
Retired. Did he retire indefinitely?
I don't know what indefinitely means. That means I can come back when I've calmed her down a bit.
Yeah.
Basically. They're going to go on a cruise, him and his wife. That's a good idea.
Oh, that'll sort it out. Should be fine after that,
you know
right?
What the next thing is? He's in the middle of the night, his speedboat is going to crash into a boy that he's charged off the boat, having been smacked in the mouth. Poor old... I feel a bit sorry for Tiger. Since when has infidelity got so much stick in the papers?
It does depend how nice the cruise is, in terms of the levels of forgiveness, I think. If you take her somewhere really nice... Mind you, there's just been, hundreds of these women, though. It's not 5 or 6.
Yeah, but, isn't it an accepted part of celebrity? Not that I do it myself.
Frank Skinner!
No, but people have been particularly harsh on Tiger, I think.
I think it's the grand scale. I think it's the numbers, rather
Because he seemed so clean-cut, didn't he? He seemed like he was too goody two-shoes to be true, and then... Because we were talking about how boring he was before. When the crash first happened...
But there was no women, and then there was 20...
there was one woman.
I think they were sleeping in the tree.
That was the idea of...
When he hit the tree, they all fell out, and the wife said, "Just a minute!" That's what's happened there. It's the strangest tale. It really is the strangest tale.
I love you, Tiger. I want to move in with you. No, you can't do that, but there's a tree house. Do you fancy that?
Yeah. What are those other women in there? You just mind your own business. No? You ain't getting on with their lives, you get on with yours. I had a girlfriend that used to call me Tiger. That's a true story.
Really? I don't wish to know your bedroom names. I feel like I need to go and wash now.
Well, It was only because I've got quite bad stretch marks.
Oh, God.
It wasn't anything... oh, yeah, I look like... From a distance, I look like a slinky. If I'm doing folding exercises. Can you do folding exercises? Only if you do origami very, very strenuously, I should think. Oh, that laugh that you heard then was our producer, Emma, who's a very sweet woman who laughs a bit like some dirty old miner from up north. It's great. It's fabulous. It's like being produced by a pirate.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Absolute Radio.
Saturday morning.
I love that. If there was a Desert Island Jingles, which would be a great programme if you think about it, that would be right up there. Right up there. Next, I think my number one would probably be...
Oh, God.
Adrian Chiles joining us later on the show.
Why are you playing the Deer Hunter for Adrian Chiles?
Apparently, him and Christine Blakely played quite a lot of Russian roulette during the VTs on the show. You know, when they show the little films and stuff, they just sit there pointing a gun. I think they do it to each other, just for the click. I think when you're 20 minutes into the one show, you don't really care whether you get the bullet or not.
Because they were in NAM together, weren't they, those two?
Are you just going to be nasty about our guests that are coming on?
Oh, God, do you think you might be listening? Oh, look, I watch the one show on a regular basis, mate.
I'm sure I saw a very informative clip about Russian roulette on the one show.
I bet you did. Yeah, it'd be that gardener
Charles
woman.
Brandreth, was it?
Oh, that would be... God, if you was watching someone play Russian roulette with Charles Brandreth, you'd so be involved, wouldn't you?
Sorry, someone's filled all the barrels of this gun.
Yeah, Giles said, I really... Oh, that was George Brandreth there having his head blown off. So
That's a terrible impression. And you're a Brummy. I can do a better impression.
Butterflies. I had an anniversary this week.
Oh.
Yeah, thanks. Good noise. That would have been a great jingle there. Yes.
Can I do a slightly more judgmental noise? Oh.
Yes, I haven't said it yet. It was it was the 22nd anniversary of my first ever stand-up gig.
Oh, wow.
So I've been a comic for 22 years. Can you believe that? And it don't seem a day too much. So I was very excited about that. And in order to celebrate, I went to see a film about Eddie Izzard. I thought I'd go and watch a documentary about a comic who's been more successful than me. Just to slightly mar my day. And it was called Believe, right? And I thought it was great. There's lots of, he's obviously very funny, Eddie, and it had shots. I'd kind of forgotten he was a transvestite. Seems to have.
He doesn't like to talk about that much anymore, though.
Well, since he's grown the goatee, he seems to not do it so much. I think he's worrying he might go into Kenny Everett territory. But I was, I really enjoyed the film. I'd recommend if anyone's listening. And then I went to the toilet afterwards. And I was feeling very broad-minded, about the whole thing. And then there was a transvestite at the urinal. Wow, and I must admit, I panicked. All the things, I thought, no, I'll be fine with this. I thought, oh my God. And I had to stand back and wait for him to finish.
Was he hitching up a skirt?
Yeah, he was hitching up a skirt, yeah. And he was hitching up a skirt and he was dragging down her tights.
Oh,
and...
How did things end? Did they end badly?
No, they ended fine. I
good.
just stood by the hand washing machine crying, and until he'd finished. And I felt terrible because I got nothing against transvestites at all. But a urinal is a very confrontational place, I find. So that was that. And my girlfriend, she arrived at the cinema and said, "Oh, fantastic! I've just been really chatted up by this very good-looking young bloke."
Oh,
and I thought, If this was reversed, if I said, oh, God, something brilliant just happened, I've been chatted up by a 20-year-old Russian in the street, she's obviously looking for another old man, she'd have gone absolutely ballistic. So, Emily, is it all right for a woman to say I've been chatted up but not for a bloke?
Oh, of course.
OK.
Deal with it. I got chatted up this week. Well,
don't. No, you're just saying that because you thought, oh, God, I better claim I've been chatted up. Obviously, don't be ridiculous. Go on then.
Yeah, I had some action. I was standing outside a karaoke bar, because that's the way I was rolling this week.
Right.
And a guy said to me that he liked my profile. And
Were you holding up a laptop with your Facebook page on it, just in case anyone was passing her?
Was he a criminal psychologist?
Turns out he was. He liked your profile.
I think he was talking about my posterior.
Oh.
So my friend came out and she said drunkenly, that seems like a very flimsy basis for a relationship, which I think is true.
Yeah, but you wouldn't refer to someone's bum as their profile, would you?
Oh, it happens all the time, Frank.
Does that mean that Ronnie Corbett is keeping a low profile?
Absolute
Radio.
Guess what? It's
What?
the X Factor final tonight. And can I say that I have a sort of a reverse arc with all of these programmes, is I start really, really liking them. By the time I get to the final, I hate them. I think the final is the dullest part of the whole show.
Do you? Why?
They've got rid of all the sort of
the dross.
mentally dubious people and stuff. You know, there's people, all the people that have been out of work for 20 years that have been on it, you know, have been come out of their bed sits and then gone back in forever. All those have gone, and now there's just some, you know, quite competent people who hate music.
Mm-hmm.
And
You've got to love Joe, though. I love that Joe.
No, I don't.
Yeah, we're
love
big Joe fans, aren't we, Em?
Yeah, we love him.
Not me. I'm for. If I had to go for one, I'd go for Stace.
Yes, you probably would.
Stacey.
Because I love the fact that she can do a really dramatic "There's a place for us," and you think that's beautiful. A time, and they said that was fantastic. A time, and you think, what happens between the singing and that person? That terrible sort of. It looks like a. If you can imagine an Afghan hound having some sort of fit, that's what the interview bit's like. It's terrifying.
I don't like her very much, I'm sorry.
Oh, you
Frank.
don't like any women who are
I
mildly
do.
attractive?
Do you
How
think...
dare you say that
You
when you
are,
know
you're-
it's true?
Yeah, I know.
I kind of think her kind of very low status simpering is a manipulation technique. What do you think about that, Emily?
Well, I don't dislike her, can I just say, because she's
Okay.
attractive, although obviously that's very irritating.
And also, I'm not against women doing low status simpering, generally. I think that can be the cement that keeps the bricks of a relationship stable.
I just find the celebration of her stupidity, if I may say,
Yes.
a little bit irritating.
Yeah, okay. Well, I have my girlfriend. See, I'll keep on about my girlfriend this morning. I always think it's a bit odd when a 52-year-old man says my girlfriend. You feel like,
A little bit Ronnie Wood.
yeah, exactly. A little bit of Ronnie Wood, a little more. Electrina. Is he called Electrina?
Her name is Ekaterina.
Ekaterina.
But they're
I
not
thought-
together anymore anyway.
No, exactly. But no, I think my girlfriend, rather, she's got the theory that Stacey, when she's off stage, says, well, you know, went pretty well. I thought the stupid voice was pretty good tonight. That breathing in thing I do, you know, I thought that I'm getting that really good now. Yeah, anyway, so how's the sales going? That's how she sees her. But then again, my dad used to say that the little kid in Different Strokes was a 50-year-old dwarf. So I've always lived with people who are very cynical about everything that happens on television. You're looking at me like, was he a 50-year-old dwarf? You look at me, oh God, he's mentioned the 50-year-old dwarf thing that we in the media are supposed to keep to ourselves. I'm terribly sorry if anyone's listening. Yeah, so I saw an interview with Simon Cowell. Mm-hmm. And he was very angry because, have you seen there's an internet group that are trying to get people to download Rage Against the Machines.
Oh, yes, I did see that, yeah.
Killing in the Name of, yeah. And they're trying to beat whoever wins X Factor to number one. And I think that is the most brilliant idea. It's awesome. Oh, man, it's better. It's the closest we'll ever get to the Russian Revolution. Red flags and people standing in the streets pointing. And he said he thought it was very cynical. Simon Cowell said. And he said they seem to be dissing the X Factor audience, and he didn't like that.
Wow.
He can't mean that, can he?
It's a bit like Satan taking the moral high ground, isn't it?
It's
That's
exactly,
what it is.
it's exactly that. Yeah, I mean, I like Simon Cowell in many ways. I like his honesty.
And you
as
like
far
his
as-
black shredded wheat hair.
I like his black shredded wheat hair, but I don't know why he's centre-parted it. Why not just let it go up, and relax? Anyway, in Jedward... No, but anyway, so if you're around tomorrow, if you download Killing in the Name by by Rage Against the Machine, you could actually stop one of the X Factor people from getting to number 1, and that would be the best thing I think that's ever happened.
Absolute
Radio.
I decided that the people on X Factor all hate music. It's a show that hates music. They don't want to be, they don't care, they don't sit thinking, oh man, this song means so much to me. They think I want to be famous. If you said you could be a model, an actor, TV presenter, or have an affair with Tiger Woods, they'd all happily do it. All 3 of them, I'm saying now. And Susan Bob probably did have an affair with Tiger Woods, who knows?
Right.
Yeah. Well, Tiger, a variety, that's what it's all about with these people. So, where did I put that deer I bought in? It's here somewhere.
Oh, God.
Hold on. I'll just have a...
We need to think very carefully before letting Frank load a jingle into the machine, because...
OK, then. That's that out the way. I'm looking to learn.
Are you?
Yes. I believe, and this was a friend of mine, Tracy McLeod, said to me a few years back, you should always be having lessons in something. And I thought, that's a brilliant idea. I've had lessons in everything you could think of. I've had...
What sort of thing?
horse riding, salsa, ice skating, drawing, singing, French,
Drawing?
German.
How old are you? 7?
Yeah, well, it weren't just like sticks with
Okay.
No, it was proper drawing. I've had all sorts.
Do you know what
of
I've
stuff.
noticed? Your accent's gone much more Brummy now that Adrian Chiles has walked in the building.
Is he in the building?
I don't know, but I'm assuming it's because your accent's gone Brummy.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, dear, I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, let's look at the bromometer.
Okay. Shall I just speak? I'll just speak and this is what happens. Yeah, quarter outtakes, day time. Yes, it's right. It's gone off the scale.
It's just exploded.
It's somebody. A friend of mine got a job working in a factory near me, and he wasn't from the area. And he made a cup of tea at 11 o'clock, and the bloke said, "You're calling out takes your day time."
What's that?
It means you can't have any tea because it isn't tea time.
I can say something in Birmingham.
Go on, then.
Albinya.
That's absolutely brilliant.
Although
Albinya.
what Emily actually said when we went to Birmingham was, "Oh, get all these people away from me."
I did
well,
not.
that's true, but she said it with a slight accent.
Anyway, so your lessons.
So I'm looking for someone else to have lessons in, basically. Somebody suggested skiing, but I think if you go skiing, don't you then, after you've skied, you have to hang around with some of the most terrible people on the planet? And I don't know if I could cope with that.
Yeah, I don't think that's right for you.
No.
But you see, what
Do you
you
ski?
No.
You surprise me.
Why? Because I look like one of the most terrible people on the planet. Thanks, Frank.
Well, I wouldn't say you look like one.
You're in a terrible mess. I'm not going to help you out of it either.
Okay. No, I imagine that you are... Someone skis, a manservant skis and carries you in his arms, and you just buy the clothes.
I learnt to do something quite recently.
Oh, God.
I learnt...
Can I remind you that it's 8:36 in
This
the
is
morning?
a very nice story.
Oh, okay.
I never learnt how to ride a bike. Because my
Not
parents...
me.
Really?
No, I can't ride a bike either.
Well, you see, my parents... It was because my parents were a bit bohemian and they just spent all their time smoking and telling anecdotes about John Gielgud.
It was because my parents couldn't afford a bike.
Oh, Frank. I don't know what to say now.
Go on.
So I decided to learn. So I had lessons.
Recently?
Yeah, about 5 years ago. I did have to go to this park in Stoke Newington. And there, and while the man
wasn't there room for your profile in a smaller area?
But
Must have been a hell of a saddle you had there.
As the man was teaching me, there were all these kids going, "Oh my God, look at that old woman! She's got stabilisers."
Oh, did
it
they?
was really embarrassing.
And
Yeah,
that was
but
before you got on the bike. That was just for your behind. Because it drags. It can drag on a path. I've noticed.
Frank.
I've seen that.
So yeah, I was so proud of myself. So I learned. So I'm a really good bike rider.
Well,
now.
I
You
can't
should do
ride
it.
a bike. I can't swim. I can't ice skate. I can't roller skate. I can't. I just can't.
Right.
I once had the idea of doing a TV programme called Frank Skinner Can't, in which every week I tried to learn all the things I can't do, but it would have been too long a series. So look, what should I have lessons? If anyone, something unusual I'd like. I've considered Morris dancing.
Right.
Are you leaving?
What about drumming?
Oh, if you're going to be stupid about it.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
You know what we need, don't you? I think
What?
we need an Ethan update. I wonder if people are sitting at home thinking that's the alarm. Must be the alarm going. So, yes, Ethan, in case you don't know, is Gareth's baby. How old is he now?
He's 6 months.
Is he really?
6 months.
He's
on the
really
11th.
pretty as well. I saw some recent photos of him. I'm so relieved he's good looking.
He would be. He's got good-looking parents, to be fair.
Yeah, but it's horrible when people have ugly babies. You never know what to
Yeah.
say, do you?
No, we're
I
really.
say nothing. I just look and go, I find they're fine with that. Sorry.
We're really pleased with him. He's really good.
Well, you're not. What, if you weren't pleased with him, what would you do?
I don't know.
Would you tie him and waste ground near an A road like they do with dogs? Get old. Anyway, yes. So what's the update?
Well, I had a very excited message left on my phone yesterday from Laura, and Ethan rolled over for the first time. He rolled over from one side to the other.
What does that mean? What, he did a 360-degree revolution?
He did a 3-point turn. He rolled out. Don't they do
Yeah.
that from the start?
No, they have to learn to do everything bit by bit.
Well, they have to learn to roll over.
Yeah.
So if you lay a baby in a cot on its left-hand side and went away, say, for a week...
Yeah,
when
you're
you
not supposed to
No,
put
not
it
for a
on
week.
one side.
But say for 2... You don't put it on one side.
No, they go on their back nowadays. They always used to say put them on their front, and now they say put them on their back.
Okay. But they wouldn't be able to roll over, whatever you put them on.
No.
Well,
Until they learn
never
to
knew
roll
that.
over.
I never knew that.
When did they start walking?
About 7. Don't ask me. I don't know any...
Later on.
Yeah. But I can't believe they don't roll over. Maybe there's a scope. If I phoned Mothercare and said I'd come up with a baby rotisserie, which just goes up the back of the cardigan, up the back of the romper suit, and then slowly turns. Stop them getting, you know when you leave, when you microwave a jacket potato, and if you do it a bit too long, the bottom bit forms like a hard base. I imagine if a baby's in a cot for too long, the bottom bit will kind of start to solidify. Where if a rotisserie steadily took him round by the romper suit, that'd be absolutely fine.
No, they let you know if they're not happy. If they start to form a callus on their underside, they would let you know about it and tell you to. But it's good because for a while you can use
It's
them
kind
as
of a bit GMT.
you can
Yeah,
use
that's
them as
rather.
like
Sorry?
It's good for a while because you can sort of use them as a paperweight or something until they start
yeah.
rolling.
You can strike matches on the bed saw.
Absolute.
Radio.
Adrian Hyatt's filming us.
I know. Don't mention it. He's doing Absolute are doing a big documentary about me. I got in after the Eddie Izzard documentary I went to on Wednesday or whatever it was. I came round to Absolute and burst into tears. There was a big scene, and the head of Absolute said, "Oh look, we can make a documentary about you, Fred." I said, "Would you?" And he said yes. And so Adrian's in with a camcorder. And this is it.
So they're giving you a one-person crew.
Yeah, but, this is just the beginning. This will be like that kind of rough, grainy sort of bit. It's very real, very reportage. It's very reportage. I'm confident about that. And, yes, and by the way, this is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio, in case you think you've actually tuned into your neighbour's house.
What time is it?
What time is it? I'll tell you exactly what time
We're
it is.
doing a
It's 10 past
radio
9.
show. We don't have
10
time
past
for
9.
your...
And 42 seconds.
Yeah, we're doing a proper radio show.
Yeah. Time check-in. That's how you know
I
it's
might even
live.
thank Neil Francis.
Live!
Yeah, Neil Francis, thanks for that
Yeah.
great show this morning. That's what you're supposed to do, thank the previous DJ. You're probably not supposed to give it an hour and 10 before you do it.
Here we are on Saturday morning.
Yeah, it's all okay. We've established
Yeah,
that we're
no,
live,
good.
I think. I don't think anyone thinks, I bet this is recorded. It's so smooth. So, you're off to the Comedy Awards tonight.
Yes, I am, and
Can
what
I
of
point
it?
out there's 2 comedians in this room. They aren't going.
No.
And you, some sort of camp follower, if I may say. Not all that camp, but you know what I mean. So you're
I
off.
am going. Yes, I am going.
Yeah,
The
I don't go if I'm
preparations
not
have
nominated. That's my rule.
Oh, well then you won't be going
Consequently,
then.
I haven't been since '84, but I've still got my speech just in case I'd won. But I don't think I'll be able to do the miners' strike if I do win one later on.
My preparations have started already.
Oh, yeah.
I brought my hair in. It's looking good.
I saw your hair.
Yeah, it's in a bag
I
under-
I don't like people who arrive with their hair in a bag. Something wrong about
It's
that.
under the table. It's going to look great.
It's a bit Cheryl Cole.
Yeah, it is very Cheryl Cole. I've got the nails. I've got the boob tape. I've got everything.
Oh, just a minute.
Yes, you're allowed to
Boob
say
tape,
boob.
is
It's fine.
that what Adrian's making?
What is boob tape? Is
It's
that
to
like that
stop
black
you-
and yellow stripy stuff to keep
No, it's not an-
passers-by away from
I'm not a
boobs?
crime area.
Okay, people aren't saying nothing to see here.
It's to stop you popping out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Where's the fun in that?
I don't like the sound of it. Tape.
And I got my dress, and my dress is designed by the same person who's doing Stacey's costumes on X Factor.
Oh.
Yeah.
What, is it? A tack shop? I was at the Comedy Awards once when Dame Thora Hird won a Lifetime Achievement Award, and it was she's very old at the time, very old, and by God she looked it. And she came up in a wheelchair. You can imagine how long it took. You know, it wasn't wheelchair friendly at all, but she steadily wheeled herself down the thing, and we gave her a big standing ovation. And I thought, is a standing ovation appropriate? Seems to be rubbing it in, really. It's as if we were saying, OK, you can act, but can you do this? And I wasn't happy about it. I think my favourite ever, probably my most embarrassing, but also my favourite ever, I was at the MTV Awards, and Ava Hertzegova, at the time of the Wonder Bra adverts, she got up to award Best Newcomers, right? And she had this very low-cut dress on. I couldn't breathe. And she didn't say a word, didn't do any speech, just opened the envelope and went smashing pumpkins. And I said, here, here. And people just stared at me.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Absolute Radio.
Adrian Chiles is in the room. Can you imagine? He came in earlier, but we sent him out again. He came in earlier because it was cold. Yeah. Can you believe that?
I just thought I'd come in and take part and sit around as we're friends, but then you just sent me away.
If I was on the one show and I walked in the middle of Giles Brandreth, you'd send me out with a flea in my ear.
As long as you pipe down, you could hang around, sit there, be fine.
You would not let me. I'm going to do it next. Should I ever be asked
just
back?
show up any time you want.
Okay, even if I'm not a guest.
Even if you're not a guest, you are always welcome.
Well, I was going to ask you about this new series you got coming out, but your PR bloke is in here said we can't even mention it. But I just mentioned it vaguely.
He's got his hand up the back of my hooded top at the moment. He's just operating me, saying what I can and can't say. So,
I think it's good if you've got all this stuff happening. Yeah, it makes you sound, like a bloke who's on the top of your game. Yeah, but we won't mention it.
No.
But what we will mention, Adrian Chiles, is your new DVD. Why don't you tell us about it?
Well, we do this thing at the end of Match of the Day 2 called Too Good, Too Bad, which it often seems to me is the only reason anybody watches Match of the Day 2. So it's just all the kind of funny bits, really, that's happened for the weekends, for the weekend's football. So
I think I have to. Can I do a slightly late interruption on that?
Go on.
I really like Match of the Day.
Oh, that's very
much
kind
better than Match of the Day 1.
I couldn't possibly comment on that.
Yeah, because Match of the Day 1, the games are too long. I'm happy to just see the goals and the odd fight. That's all I want.
Well, that's what we can deliver on Match of the Day too, because we haven't got to get sort of 8 or 9 sort of games away, with the full highlights. But just this Too Good, Too Bad thing just seems to have captured people's imagination. I'm always walking past sort of fried chicken shops at sort of 11:30 at night. And there's a load of.
I heard you just waiting for scraps.
I do. Well, I have done a bit of that actually in my time. But I look, and these youths, these rascals, look at me as they want to rob me, and then they see me, they recognise me, and they go, "Oh, too good, too bad, man. Have a leg of chicken."
Is that really? That's the thing they call out.
Absolutely, every time. Too good, too bad. Every time.
It's
every
time.
So I get maximum. I think what they know is respect from them. It makes me feel young again. So we sit around talking about obscure clips of various footballers, and they seem to like that. So we thought we'd do a DVD of it, because it wasn't that easy because the Premier League, we couldn't get the rights and stuff. So we did a World Cup one. So going back to '66. Although the poor lad who had to do the research on it, he had a nervous breakdown in the end, because there are so few shots of the crowd from that time now. There are 20 cameras in every ground, and sort of half-bored cameramen and women just amusing themselves, picking shots out of the crowd. You didn't get shots of fat people in the crowd picking their noses in 1974. They're very few.
There
and
were
far
no
between.
fat people there.
No,
those were lean years in many ways.
I think you're probably right, but it's amazing what we have managed to dig up.
Well, it's out at the moment.
It is out at the moment.
It's in a direct head-to-head with my own football clips.
Gareth's already given one to his dad.
Yeah.
He got it free, though.
A free promotional copy. Even in the correct packaging.
No, that was very poor.
It was signed. It was a collector's edition.
Yeah. Well, that's true. No, my DVD, Cornucopia, which is the funniest corners of 2008, 2009 season. And it's gone so well, we're already working on...
That would be awesome.
Yeah, we're working on short cornucopia, which is the best short corners.
Can you do a West Brom one called Incompetent Cornucopia? We don't take or defend them very well.
Well, I'm negotiating for run it into the cornucopia, which is great time wasting. But we can only get the Carling Cup at the moment. So it's not just you, though, is it? You have help. You have expert help on the DVD.
It's not a lot of things I do. So when you try and give it the big sell, it's difficult because actually all it is me and Lee Dixon sitting around. Looking
I like him.
Looking at sort of clips of. Looking at clips of
football,
obscure clips of football and crowds and people with funny things on their heads, but we amused ourselves no end doing it.
But for most people, that would be their dream night in, sitting in with you and Lee Dixon watching football clips.
I don't know
no,
about
that
that.
really is true, honestly. We were in Vienna with Lee Dixon once. You'll remember this, and he explained to me basically George Graham's tactics at Arsenal with like 2 beer bottles and an ashtray and stuff out on the table. You know the way people
six glasses.
Yeah.
So we had there were four Viennese beer glasses representing the Arsenal, the first title winning back four, wasn't
exactly.
it? So this is Steve Bold, this is Tony Adams, here's Winterburn.
And I think we had a pork scratching as David Seaman.
Absolute
Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Adrian Chiles in the studio, plugging his DVD like there's no tomorrow.
I find it very difficult to big myself up, and I can't. I gave the PR a heart attack by saying some stuff about the guys on his eye. It's all right. It's nothing special. Well, I do quite like it, but I don't think it's for me to say, really.
Well, I'm quite excited by the idea of, genuinely, of watching Lee Dixon analyse the 6 best World Cup goals of all time.
Yeah, well, he picked 6 great goals, and then all you ever hear said about the goals, what a strike, what a pass, what play. When in fact he just he analysed it from the point of view of the defending being terrible, and so you see it through the other end of the telescope. Really, it's really quite fascinating. I mean, the simplest example to explain is the Jeff Hurst think it's all over goal.
Yeah.
Well, if you next time you see that, and it'll be replayed about 5 million times before we get to South Africa. But there's one Jeff Hurst running through with the ball, and then over on the right there's another England attacker, and in between them there's the German fullback. Now the German fullback has been programmed to mark the other guy. Right. But he's got Jeff Hurst running towards him. Oh no, he's in trouble because he's marking 2 players. But instead, he really ought to go to Jeff Hurst and try and stop him getting the ball. Instead, he just literally runs the other way. He runs away from Jeff Hurst, clearing his way to goal, and just, I'm marking my man. He's my responsibility over there. If Jeff Hurst scores, that's somebody else's problem. It wasn't my fault.
My theory is that the German bloke thought it was all over. Well, that's why
that is the other possibility. But also Maradona's second goal in 1986.
When he beats about 8 England defenders.
Oh, even I know that.
Yeah, but if you look at the defending, it's there's some very half-hearted challenges.
I've always thought that, though. But, I mean, Lee Dixon, I'd like to see him... So all these great goals, he's basically saying, I could have scored that because the defending's rubbish.
Well, he's saying it with his tongue firmly in his cheek, I've got to say, but it doesn't...
Well, that's going to sound like Jamie Oliver. So are you aware of the John Coleshaw impression of you?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, I think... again, it's not for me to say, but I think the mannerisms are quite good. But he just struggles with the voice. He sounds more like Enoch. When he first started doing it, he sounded more like Enoch Powell. And it's strange because on that show, I think he does Michael McIntyre brilliantly. The Eamon Holmes is superb. The Ross Kemp is superb. And then he just struggles with me.
Maybe you should just do Enoch Powell. I suppose it's not such a topic.
It was humiliating about that. They rang up and said, "Look, we're doing it. Can we use the studio?" And I went, "All right, I don't mind, whatever." I said the makeup woman had come and the makeup and disguise woman. What do you call it? Not disguise.
Disguise.
What do you call it? The people who put hair on.
What, you a spy or something?
Costume.
Yeah.
I'm worried that you see that generally as disguise.
But anyway, she said, "Can we come and have a look at you?" So I just sat there grumpily on my computer. Well, she got about 10 different swatches of hair, all varying shades of grey, and matched them to my hair. I said, there must be one at least that's not totally grey, but they were all grey. I have grey hair. That was the moment I knew I had grey hair.
And this is for John Coleshaw's benefit, so you actually allowed yourself to be a research item.
Yeah. You can't get the hump over that, can you?
Oh, no, you can't get the hump.
I can do an impression of Adrian.
Oh, go on, let's hear it.
Oh, I can't do it. I have to get myself in
No,
the zone.
too high so far. Laughs wrong.
All right, Frank, you're coming down the Albion.
No, that's rubbish.
Now, there's people I'm thinking, oh, hold on, was that the impression or was that actually Adrian speaking?
Exactly. Gareth,
I can do an impression.
Oh, go on.
Like the Roman I seem to see.
Has he not
The
passed?
river Tiber foaming with... What? Oh, sorry, I've got that same John Coleshaw problem. I kept doing Enoch Powell. That's such a letdown. No, Alistair McGowan used to do me, and I thought what they do for the likes of us, they just do a sort of Brummy accent, a cod Brummy accent.
Well, yeah.
But we both
That's how you speak,
No,
guys.
we've both got strange accents. There's nobody in. There's very few people in Birmingham or the Black Country that speak like me, and you certainly speak like me. I don't think, because I'm from Hagley, so I've got impeccable middle class credentials on the quiet. So my accent's.
Is your voice posh then?
Well, I wouldn't say no. It's not posh, but I'm
This
not.
is where we come from. He's a sort of hooray Henry.
You don't hear that hooray Henry much anymore. Whatever happened to them? They were sort of retired, weren't they?
You
about
do when
10
you're
years
with
ago?
me.
No, do you?
Yeah, I think a lot of French people shouted it recently.
Absolute
Radio.
So have you got another... You did a fantastic bicycle ride with Alan Shearer, a sort of endurance thing.
Yeah.
Are you going to do something else? Because I find that once people start doing these big testing things, they get stuck on it.
Yeah, I wanted to do something this year, but I wanted to do some mad endurance thing, but it didn't fit in with their plans this time. So I've got to do something on the night.
Just do it on your own.
Well, I've got to. Yes, yeah. I suppose
That's always been my
I could,
ambition.
yeah.
Frank, why
So
don't
right-
you do it with Adrian?
No, I like the... Because he's fitter than me.
No, there's nothing left to do anymore. That's the problem. I mean, in terms of ultra running, you can never beat Eddie Izzard now. That's done.
Yeah.
I wanted to swim the Channel. Well, David Williams has done that.
Yeah.
And then James Cracknell's. I mean, he has literally rowed the Atlantic. He's rowed, cycled, and swum
Don't
from
get
here.
bitter.
From
Don't
here
get
to
bitter.
Gibraltar. No, but there is nothing.
Well,
there is
I've
nothing
got
left to do.
something.
Go on.
Why don't no one's done this? Why don't you see how far down you can dig?
I like the sound of that.
How far you can dig down?
Maybe as a
Keep
sort of...
digging.
If you could get a cold, it's anniversary.
Who's done that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, that's not a bad idea.
Who's going to do it now?
You'd hit rock.
Yeah,
sooner or later, wouldn't you?
you could, Adrian Chiles, Australia or bust.
But if you could dig straight down, do you get to the lava at the middle of the earth?
I think you'll have to pass the core. Yeah, you will have to pass the core, but I mean, just take somewhere for the core.
Which celebrity, which sportsman would you take with you? Someone like Kevin Keegan or something? I'm
Just trying to think who's got very long nails. I think
maybe someone with big hands.
you'd be better off
Or
taking
Terry Butcher or
Could
something.
take a greyhound. Some world champion greyhound. Have someone holding a bone in Australia. And off we go, that'll be fine. You must be overdue for a book as well now. You haven't written a book for
I'm not
nearly a
doing that
year.
again.
Adrian Chiles sent a journey to the centre of the earth.
And beyond.
And beyond.
Journey via the centre of the earth. Yeah. That'd
I'm
be
not doing
good.
another book. That's horrendous.
I'm amazed there hasn't been a sort of one show. You know, in the humour section, and you get those books that are like spin-offs. I'm amazed there isn't a one show one.
A one-show annual.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe next year. I don't know.
Write it
Who
down.
knows? All right, I'll make a note.
I think it's a good idea. So I'm asking people to text in about... I want to do lessons in something new, right? Now, if you were going to do lessons in something now, what do you think you'd go for? Is there anything you've always thought, I'd love to learn that?
Yeah, I've always wanted to. I'd love to be able to speak French. Actually, I know it's a very, very boring answer. I like to do that, but I'm like you. I'm always doing. I learnt to windsurf a couple of years ago, but then I haven't been back. I don't know why, because I really loved it. It was a great stress reliever, so I enjoyed doing that. And there was something recently I thought I'd like to do. Yeah, I lost my fear of heights and flying. I just suddenly thought I might do parachuting, like paragliding.
Goodness.
So I've got a place in Wales. I wouldn't mind I just suddenly thought it'd be nice to jump off this hill now.
Yeah, what I'm getting around to is, would you like to come Morris dancing with me?
Oh, absolutely, no problem.
Would you do that?
I'll come Morris dancing, no problem.
I think we'd have a
No,
great
I like
time.
the costume, I like the bells. Something very traditional. We could go on tour, we could go... I'm always going to Croatia and looking at there, because my mum's Croatian, there to a traditional dance, and I'll retaliate with a bit of traditional British dancing. We can get a maypole, that, you know, a
we can get a
collapsible
maypole.
one that you can get on a... That you can get
We
on
can get a
plane.
maypole from the Exchange of Mar.
Yeah.
Telescopic.
Adrian,
And we've got till May, haven't we?
Adrian,
We've got till May to
this is
shop.
what we should do.
That's what I'm nice about it. You got a deadline with the Morris
Exactly.
dancing.
End of the football season, isn't it? That'd be great.
Yeah, maybe me and you could do pre-FA Cup final.
Also, every England game at the World Cup.
I'm honestly thinking of doing it. I'm serious. Would you come?
I would. It's a bit... I took a girlfriend to when I first passed my driving test to some country pub in Shropshire, and all these Morris dancers I was very insecure about and everything. And there was some Morris dancing going on outside the back of the pub, and all these men were sort of looking at her, and they all started dancing around. It became quite nightmarish, actually.
Like straw dogs.
It's a fertility dance, isn't it? So they were.
Yes, it was. There was. There was.
You
an
must be
element of that.
very insecure if you thought you were going to lose your girlfriend to Morris dancers.
So I think we're set there. So Frank Skinner and Adrian Chiles, Morris dance to the centre of the earth.
Okay.
If you put Morris dancing lessons into Google, does anything come up?
Yeah, I've done it.
Have you?
The best place is Cecil Sharp House in Primrose Hill. Anyway, we have to. That's the end.
end?
It's been lovely having you on.
All right. Okay.
And what's the DVD called again?
I forgot. It's Too Good, Too Bad.
Yeah, don't ask the PR bloke.
Yeah.
And it's I've seen it and it's brilliant. So there. Actually, I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
I said that and then I can't go through with it, but I've heard it's brilliant. So there.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
Frank, we've had a couple of texts in with
Well,
suggestions.
don't sound so surprised.
With suggestions for lessons you can take. Someone here has suggested, why not try learning ironmongery? You can do evening classes, different nails, doorknobs, etc. I like different nails, doorknobs, etc.
Could I have one of those shops with the very, very busy windows with like 10 million things in the windows? I love those shops. There's one just round the corner from here.
And Andre, I wonder if that's Peter
Do you
Andre.
remember that old joke? Man goes into an ironmonger's and says, have you got 6-inch nails? He says, yes. You can just get my back. Just put a shoulder blade there.
I will have later tonight for the Comedy Awards.
Indeed.
Andre says, I could give you welding lessons.
Well,
so there you go.
That I like that as well. I like I like the mask. I like the idea that I could get perhaps extra work this weather from any brass monkeys I know.
And when you're around the house and you think, oh, how am I going to join these two pieces of metal together?
Yeah, I often think that.
Be able to do it.
You see, the needles I've broken trying to sew 2 sheets of aluminium together. I can't.
I like that for
I can't
you.
tell you.
I see you as an honest son of toil. I think that'd be good for you.
Yes, my dad was called Toil. He wasn't. I made that up just for some sort of stupid pun. I regret it, but there it's gone. We can always take it out of the podcast.
Phil says, Frank, try wargaming. It involves research, painting soldiers and playing with them.
No. We're off to... We've got our works out in this week.
I know, I'm so excited.
We're going, get this.
We're going to the Ivy, are we? And then...
No, we're going.
Oh,
we're going
what?
to pantomime in Milton Keynes.
Ah.
No, before you turn up your nose, can I discuss it? That's very dangerous. If it rains, you could choke. If Mickey Rooney is on now, Mickey
Right.
Rooney is the last of the great Hollywood legends. He's 89.
What a Christmas works outing.
No, it'll be brilliant now. 89, I mean, it's Thursday, it's still touch and go.
It's
but
Milton Keynes.
It's Milton Keynes, he's on as well, he's very good.
Oh, actually, yes, this is Cinderella, isn't it? Because Bobby Davro's in this.
Well, if there's going to be Davrovian activity, I'll be there. But I'm just going to, every time Mickey Rooney comes on, I'm going to go, Rooney!
Oh, you're
Rooney!
not. Oh, you're
See how he
not.
goes. I'm so excited about seeing him, I can't tell you.
And Mickey Rooney's understudy is going to be Derek Acora. So if he can't make it,
He'll do it.
he can still appear.
Oh, that's so unkind, but funny. Like so many things.
I can't make it though. I've got other.
Yeah, funny that when you found out it was
when
Panto in
the
Milton
Ivy.
Keynes.
When it was the Ivy, you were
Yeah.
available. Anyway, so good day to you.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Absolute Radio.